And here we go. All right, we are set up and ready to stream. Now, I look different today. I sound different today, and that is because I am on holiday. It's a bit of a working holiday for me, but it is my third wedding anniversary. So my wife and I decided to take a little trip for a few days and visit some family and get away. It's our first trip with the baby, so we're excited about it, and he's doing well so far. Um, Packing the car was that was an experience, but we were able to get it all done. So if you don't know, my son is just 8 weeks old now, and so I'm in the back seat of the car with him in the seat, whatever the car seat. But we also have the dog, so the dog's in the back seat with us. So it's the three of us in the back seat while my wife is driving, because one of us has to be in the back seat. So if I'm driving, she's in the back seat with the dog. And this is the first time the dog's traveled with the baby. She just doesn't know what to do. So she's like trying to, like, every time the baby goes coo, the dog is like, oh, I gotta help, I gotta help. So she's licking his toes. She's all up in his business. Um, so yeah, it was. She's an okay traveler. The dog is, she's a little bit nervous in the car. A little bit higher anxiety than normal. Not really bad. She's still okay most of the time, but then on top of it, since we've had the baby, she's extra territorial. So she's like trying to defend the baby too. It's very cute. But so it was interesting. Hey Sauce, hey Adrian, Joshua, Burso, good to see everybody. I hope that we're not having major issues here. Let's see. Is anybody having an issue with the video? I know I sound different, right? Because I didn't bring my microphone. I should have brought my microphone. I didn't realize it was going to sound this bad, so I apologize. But I'm actually I'm on the earbuds. Hey, Rock. But how's the video? Is the video working? Because right now I can't tell. I only have one monitor, so I can't like watch the stream and as well and play the game. It looks fine in OBS. I'm not 100% sure about the stream. Looks good. Okay, cool. See if I can get this to work right. Okay, that's better. All right. Yeah, it's very, very echoey. So I'm not on my normal microphone. I'm not at home. I am on holiday, and so I'm set up kind of with a temporary setup here. And so I didn't bring my microphone. I was going to bring my travel microphone, and I couldn't find the cord for it. So the travel microphone is actually a pretty good microphone. It's a Samson. So now it's either the webcam mic or the earbuds mic, and they sound about the same. I tried messing with the EQ to make it a little bit better, so I apologize for the sound. What you gonna do? I've got to do videos all week with the sound too, so it's like I'm gonna have to figure out something because I don't like the sound at all. You booked Demitha Moore when you were trying to. Oh, Joshua Lynch, you were trying to do the two block damage champions, right? And you booked her all the way out. Yeah, so now you can't do that speed tune, unfortunately, with Demitha. You would need a different block damage champion. And Warcaster works if you have a Warcaster. I don't think you did. But now you're kind of stuck going for either a 2-to-1 with a cooldown reduction champ or a 3-to-1 speed tune, with the Mytha. Or you can go somewhere else. You can still do like a Rosh card. You can still do, that, and if you have an unkillable champion, you can always try that as well. But I've done that before. Accidentally booked something I didn't mean to book. Yeah. Yep. Lighting's different too, if you can't tell. So I only brought one of my lights, and so it's a very different. It's a different sound. It's a different look. It's a different feel today for Takeover Tuesday. But the advice is going to be the same because it's still me. So let's see how we're doing. Not that many viewers this week. I started on time, so nobody's used to me starting on time, and so there's only 18 people here right now. But you know what? We'll do an early takeover. We'll start right away, so then there won't be that many viewers, and then the people who are here have a better chance of winning. We'll do it that way. So I'll give it till 1:10. So I'll give it 3 more minutes, and then we'll start working on the wheel of takeover. Yeah, there you go, Zachary. Hey, Dinky, good to see you, buddy. Yeah. So what have I been working on? I just finally summoned. I just finally summoned Astrid today for the CVC, and that felt good. So I do need to book her out, and I wanna play with this champion. I think she's absolutely fantastic. But I also have um, Podrick, who needs to be booked out. So I think those are my top two priorities in terms of legendary tomes. I mean, I'd like to bring up White Queen and Korra. I'd like to bring up Snick Track. I'd like to bring up Oella, and I'd like to bring up Narma. The reason I want to bring up Narma is I have a 5 or a 6-star soul for her. I don't really need to bring up Narma. Yeah, I think those are the legendary champs I need booked. Harima's now booked. Wixwell's booked. Eric's is booked. Yeah, all my recent 6-stars are booked. UDK is still not booked, but that doesn't matter to me. Hey, Suzanne. Yeah, I'll reset the wheel. Good morning, Techniques. Good to see you. Or Da Real. I should show you. I should call you that. Da Real. All right. Again, for those of you who don't know, I am on holiday. That's why I sound and look like this. I'm not at home. I don't have my microphone. I don't have my lights set up. I don't have anything. I just have my webcam and my earbuds, and that's it. So I did bring my computer. Obviously, I only have one monitor today, so it's going to make switching screens a little bit trickier, but we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done. But that's just an explanation for why I sound and look like this. That and my parents. All right, so quick reminder for those of you, any of you who may not have done this before, you need to be a member of my Discord community if you want a takeover. So join the Discord community. There should be a link in the description of this video. When you get into the Discord, you want to look in the left-hand column with all the different channels. You want to scroll down about 2/3 of the way. You'll see an area called the Coaching Corner. In the Coaching Corner, there is a channel called the Wheel of Takeover. And what we're going to do is, I'm sorry, I'm removing all reactions right now. So there is a message in that channel, Wheel of Takeover channel. from Sun. All you have to do is react to that message for your chance to win a takeover. You can win once every 90 days. So if you've won in the last 90 days, you are ineligible. But that will enter you into the wheel. In a few minutes, I will spin the wheel, and then the winner will get the takeover. As soon as you get the takeover, I want you to DM me. I'll probably DM you. Congratulations. Just DM me with your login information. So make sure you have your email address and your password ready and available. You can send that to me right away. Go ahead and do that at DM in Discord. And then I'll start the login process. And then you can join the coaching voice channel. Now, you won't be able to speak to me because your microphone will be muted, but you'll be able to hear me in real time because there is a delay on the live stream. So this way, it'll just move a little bit more smoothly. And you can DM me any information you want about the takeover that you're looking for. Tell me what you want to do. Tell me if you don't want me to touch certain things, whatever it happens to be. And yeah, that's basically it. I think if you have two-factor authentication, you're going to have to send me that code as well. Don't set up two-factor authentication right now if you haven't, because it can lock you out for a couple of hours. But if you have two-factor authentication, I'll just ask for the code and get that done. And yeah, all the takeovers are on board today. Any takeovers you want. We've been doing a lot of clan boss takeovers recently, which I enjoy, but it doesn't have to be that. So I'm going to give it about 1 more minute. We've got 31 viewers and like 25 reactions. So a lot of people hoping for a takeover. I don't have a mute button today on my microphone, so you're going to hear all my coughs and stuff. It's tricky for me to mute. I could. Let's see. I could do it. Yeah, that's trickier. I have to do it in OBS. Normally, I just have a button on my microphone and go mute, cough or sneeze or talk to my wife or whatever. Okay. Hey, Loki. Ian, good to see you. Hawk, Zande, Tamir. I think I said hi to Zachary already. Adrian Thomas is here. Sauce. Smoke through water. If I'm repeating, well then people just get extra greetings. Okay, that's enough. I think we're going to go ahead and spin this wheel. You got like 5 seconds if you want to get a reaction in. Here we go. Spinny, spinny wheel, wheel. Come on, wheel, make up your mind. The wheel of names is thinking. It takes a long time to think sometimes. There we go. Koi Dragon 69? Is that what we got? Well, congratulations, Koi. Go ahead and send me a DM or respond to my DM as soon as you can. Let's get you set up. Okay, you can now join me in the coaching voice as soon as you get an opportunity to do so. We'll get started. What am I doing here, by the way? I don't even know what I'm doing here. Oh, you know what I'm doing? I'm doing these Marius missions. I'm up to this earn 75 greater extracts from the Phantom Shogun's Grove, but I haven't maxed out the Grove yet. I haven't tried. And they have nerfed it, so I don't know. It might be easier to do it, but I can do stage 20 in 37 seconds, so that's what I've been doing. I'm going to have to push this. This is one of the very few things in the game I haven't completed yet. This and Fire Knight hard mode and Hydra Nightmare. That's like it. Koi buddy, you there? Hey, Crop. Crop Show Games is in the house. Hello, Crop. Good to see you. Sab, hello. You have to change your little one, Hawk. I understand that completely. All right, Koi, you're in the coaching voice. I need you to send me a DM with your login information. There are two Ian Godwins in the channel. What's going on? I sent you a DM in Discord. All you have to do is respond to it. So up at the very top of your Discord, like server selection, you see the little Discord icon? That's your DMs. So all you have to do is click there, and you'll see that I should be the highest one on the list. And I just sent you a DM. All right, I am swapping accounts. There we go. All right. We got a long time viewer here, Ian Godwin. Ian, is this your first win ever? Or is this like an alt account or something? Hey, David. Happy Tuesday. Mark managed to do Spider and Dragon 20 today. Congrats. That's always nice. Getting to stage 20 is like that's a that's a landmark accomplishment. That's always really it feels really good when you get your account to stage 20. You're trying to beat Nightmare 12-7 3-star. That is tricky. And that's not something we're likely to go over today. I did a video on that a long time ago, like 8 or 10 months ago, I think. But that is actually pretty tricky. It is hard to find champions that can farm 12-7 without dying. 6-star Ancora today. Congrats. Paragon, you can definitely Paragon cheese it. Yes, that is something that you can do. But you can't use crowd control because Mortu Macabre is immune to crowd control. And you can't use block damage because he ignores block damage. You can use unkillable buffs. So it is possible to, and you can steal turn meters. So it is possible, for instance, to use like 2 man eaters. Like if you have double man eaters and you swap the unkillable, or if you had like an Emic trunk cart and a man eater, that might work really well. Hey, John Hudson. Yeah, that's fair, Damien. Hopefully there'll be stuff to learn today. All right, so let me check in with Ian here. Any advice on where to push next would be nice. Okay, so it's your first win. It's always great to see longtime viewers get a win finally, you know? Ian and I feel like you've been here for months and months. We are coming up on the 1 year mark in just a few days, actually. Technically, I started the channel in May, but we didn't post a video until June, and then we didn't really get going until July. So, like, I don't know. It's really going to be 1 year of active uploads starting in July. But it's fun to celebrate the anniversary. All right, so let's take a look at Koi Dragon here, level 89. So look at the logins. You're into Cleopteryx. Okay, cool. So past the 270 day mark, you've got your Vizix, which is great, but you are now working on Cleopteryx. Let's see how many fragments you have on Cleopteryx. You have 75, so you're almost completed with that. So Cleopteryx takes 120 days to complete. You're going to complete it this month. So you're about a year in, 360-ish days or so, just past 360, 370. Let's see. 365 days. It's 1 year, 365 days today. Happy 1 year anniversary. Happy 1 year anniversary today. That's why you won today, Ian. You've been watching since my Bastion vid? Wow. Yeah, you were there at the very, very beginning then. That's crazy. Okay, so general advice. Let's take a look at the roster. I always like take a look at the roster, and we'll just we'll include everything. How are you doing on 60s? 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 51. 51 6 stars. Not all of them are finished yet, but 51 6 stars. You have your Mithrala. Congrats. That's awesome. You have your Arbiter. You got your Vizix recently. Vizix has not been 6-starred yet, looks like. So she's probably down here somewhere. You got your Carl, very nice. You got your Chronum, very nice. There's your Vizix. Got some nice legendaries who are waiting to be built, but that's okay. You know, you can't always get all your legendaries done. There's always going to be somebody in the vault, right? Somebody who's not booked, somebody who's built but not booked. Yeah, you're in desperate need of legendary tomes. All right, not too shabby, and you got a Frolny too. You got your Deacon, your Geo, your Man Eater, Genbo, Venom Mage, Seeker. You're in good shape. Roster looks great. Roster looks great. Let me ask you this: are you free to play 100%, or you low spender? And if you spend, what do you spend on? Just out of curiosity. 23 epic tomes there. Gem pack most months. Okay. So let's start with arena. You're in gold 5. You don't have a one-man defense. Come on, man. everybody set a one-man defense. If you actively play arena offense, you won't drop out of gold 5. And if you have to, you just put a four-man defense in for the last day, the last 24 hours, and you'll shoot right back up into gold 5. And then put in a one-man defense. Make it easier for everybody. I always have a one-man defense, like 7 days a week. I never swap out my one-man defense. Let's see your team. Nice team. I like it. I think it's a great team. Right? You've got your speed aura. I'm assuming. Let's take a look. I'm assuming she's your fastest, but is she your fastest, or is Armand's your fastest, or Deacon? Okay, so she's your fastest. You get that 15% turn meter fill. You get the speed buff. Increase speed. Then you get the extra turn. Then you get the turn meter decrease. And that's going to lead into Armand's, who's then going to lead into Deacon and give you that drop defense. Yeah, are these two speed tuned? Let's see. 260. Not quite. So you need the turn meter decrease to land, and your accuracy is only 193. So there are a couple of ways to make this team work, right? One is to make sure that the speed tune can't be broken, can't be cut in. And the other one is if you're using, like Armand's is like a CC champ, like a Kymar, like, whatever, then you want to make sure that he's speed tuned and then he has the accuracy. And he has the accuracy of 424, but Astra does not have the accuracy to land her turn meter decrease 100% of the time. So you might get cut in here, but you're gold 5. You're doing fine. Not too worrisome. And again, you have your arbiter. So I know that she's not booked. She doesn't really have to be. She's not built either. But you could do this into let's see. You could do this into this, right? Or you could go back to the Deacon. Now, here's the thing about Rathalos. I like Rathalos, but you don't have him set up with an HP burner, right? So you might get more value out of like a Genbo. That could be nice. Or if you want to do, it really doesn't, you can figure out how you want to set it up. But like, I also like, I might do something like this actually. I really like this. This gives you the increased attack, the weaken, the turn meter, double turn meter fill, turn meter reduction. So you don't have a decreased defense here, but you get double nukers, right? Because Wukong is the buff strip. So you have like a nice, you have all the champions you could possibly need to like make an amazing go first team. Another one you could do here is if you really wanted to use Rathalos, you could skip over. I mean, you could also do Deacon instead of Astra. It really depends. They're both good. One gives you a weaken, one gives you a decreased defense. You could do it based on affinity if you wanted. And then you could do an AoE HP burn into the nuke like that. I mean, you got a lot of options, but I think what you're running is awesome. And as long as you're not having any trouble with gold 5, then you're good. 313 is not bad. I mean, so for your fastest champion in gold 5, probably if you're running a go first team, you need like a minimum of like 270, 280 to really consistently be able to find targets. Otherwise, you're just one man defense hunting, which is fine. I think we should all put in a one man defense, but sometimes that can be just more time intensive because you're constantly refreshing. Once you get up to like 310 where you are right now, should be pretty easy. Again, the biggest issue isn't the fastest champion now. It's making sure that you're connected, right? Making sure you're speed tuned. And you're not. So you need Armands to be a little bit faster. Right? So if you can get him some 6-star speed boots, or maybe like these gauntlets, maybe you could find gauntlets with more speed on them that don't. Let me actually do something here. Okay. So one of the things about Armands is you don't need him to do damage. He doesn't need 100% crit rate. He's a support champion. So even if you have 100% crit rate and good crit damage, you're not doing a ton of damage, right? Really what you need on him is you need him to come back around to his A2 as quickly as possible. So that typically means as much speed as possible. And again, you do need the accuracy to land it, but you've got good accuracy here. So, you could go for any glove. HP percentage would be great. Defense percentage could be great. And you just want speed rolls. Like that's really what you need here is something with speed in it. She's got the triple speed. That's nice. By the way, you have a 6-star triple speed roll in the speed set. Drop a big glyph on it. Go ahead and drop a 6-star glyph on it. Try to get the 8 speed because you're not going to get much better than that. You have a lot of crit rate gloves, some crit damage gloves, but for speed sets, like really look for HP percentage and defense percentage because those are better for your debuffers and your setups and your tanks and your cleansers and your revivers. Like those are all the stats that you want there. So just keep an eye out for them. Sometimes if I'm even short on like gloves or chest pieces, I'll take flat stats, flat defense, flat HP. For chest pieces, you can have accuracy or resistance as well. Let's take a look at your clan boss team. You got the Wixwell going. It's beautiful. You got Geomancer. I think Elva just makes this really easy, right? Because it just makes it full affinity friendly, full auto, like right from the get go. That's beautiful. 175 million one key. Looks like it doesn't matter what affinity you are, you're going to crush it. So that's awesome. How's your Hydra doing, by the way? On hard, you got 19 million, 30 million here. Haven't unlocked Brutal yet. Okay. It looks like you're trying to run your clan boss team and adding Rathalos. I think this is probably the stronger team. I think the issue probably here with this is your Hex. Maybe your Provoke. I don't know. Let's go ahead and take a look at let's try Provoke first. Yeah, so you're going to want to work on a provoke champion. I think Drexar's a very good provoke champion because it's an AOE, but it's not 100%. It's only 60% chance. I like Seeker as a backup. He's a really good A1 provoker, and um, he's got a 50% chance. And he just goes so often. Taraga the Frog is good. He has a pretty good provoke, again, 50% chance. I like Burn Giri as well. He's an A1 provoke, right? 40% chance, though. So, yeah, you're probably going to need a better provoker. I like Tarshawn, but I don't think he's a great provoker. No, he's not. And Vogot's obviously a very good champion and an okay provoker as well. 75% chance AoE. So you're going to want to work on some provokers. Out of these, I mean, maybe Gizcard is the best. 75% chance. Yeah, probably Gizcard or Seeker. Oh, you have a Duke de Pierce though. He's very good. He places a provoke, so it can't weak hit. So that's a nice, and he's a very good champion. He's also got a AOE decrease attack and decrease defense, and then he's got decrease accuracy on his A1. %75 chance here, but it's on a 4-turn cooldown. And then Husk is another A1 provoker, 40% chance, but has that massive enemy max HP hit. So you got some options. But you have that you have to worry about, and then the other thing is the Hex, which is where's Hex? Okay, you got 3 Hex champions, so all 3, you could potentially build. Obviously, you have Mithrala built, and you have Vildrax built, so those should be on teams. I really like Akemptum because he's a damage dealer, pretty good damage dealer as a Hex champion. Mithrala is great because she has the cleanse and the strengthen and the shield and the increased defense and the increased attack. I don't know how hard Vildrax hits. I haven't actually built mine yet, but you do have 2-star Ascension on him, so Awakening, whatever. So Hex and Provoke, those are the 2 debuffs you need for Hydra. Really, like, you can kind of get away without a Hex sometimes, but it's tricky. And those tend to be the 2 best debuffs that you need. And then you need a block debuff if you can get it, or a buff strip. Preferably a block debuff. That tends to be better. Hi, Colray. Quick question. Do you know what thing I should put in the optimizer for Timic and Kaya? Please, would you do them balanced? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a Kaya, and I don't use the optimizer for that kind of stuff. I apologize, but that's not my wheelhouse. Yeah, that's right. You also have Vizix. You also have Vizix as a provoke champion. Where is Vizix? Why didn't we see her? You know why? Because the skill hasn't been unlocked. That happens. So if you look here, this skill hasn't been unlocked yet, so she doesn't show up in the filter. But yeah, she would actually be great because she also has an AOE slow, AOE decreased speed, which is really valuable. And then she has that provoke. This is on a 3-turn cooldown AoE. So, and she's void affinity, so she'll never weak hit. So that might be your best, actually your best provoke. I like her, and I like Duke and Seeker. Those are all good options. So, Mark, and anybody who wants roster advice, what I highly recommend is take a picture of your roster and put it in the appropriate channel in Discord. We have a bunch of Discord roster advice channels. So if you look at the Discord, you'll see a whole section just specifically about roster advice. So it's up above the coaching corner, right? It's the one right above it. And there's general roster gear advice, the Curse City, Demon Lord Clan boss. So if you have a specific area where you're looking for advice, like I want help with Hydra, you just post the roster in the Hydra channel and then ask your question. And you could always do @Colred and like tag me in the post and I'll try to take a look at it. But I'm crazy busy. I can't always get to every question. But if you do post in the Discord, one, I may see it and be able to respond. But you'll get a lot of responses from the community. The community is really good. There are a lot of very good players there, and you get plenty of advice on anything that you want with your roster. By the way, Vizix is phenomenal. Now, if you check her reviews, you'll see this, right? Her reviews are generally not great, except for the new dungeons, right? But all the old things, she's not good for. Now, there's a reason for this. She's a very old champion, and she was bad, and then they redid her. They updated her, whatever you want to call it. They did the champion update, and they rebuilt her. They changed her skills, and after that point, she became very, very good. But she's got they didn't reset her reviews. They've got thousands of reviews from her from the first year and a half of the game or 2 years of the game where she wasn't very good. And so as a result, she's got bad ratings. She's phenomenal. She's an absolutely outstanding champion. The one downside I think to Vizix is that this ally protection doesn't include a strengthen buff or an increased defense buff. And as a result, she's tanky enough. Let's look at her in the index. She's tanky enough. She's not incredibly tanky, but she's tanky enough to be an ally protector. But unfortunately, without an increased defense or a strengthen or a shield or something, she can die relatively easily. Her HP pool is a little bit low at 17k, but her defense is fine at close to 1500. So you can build her tanky, but then that ally protection goes out, and sometimes she just drops. And this can be in any content. You might not even be using her for the ally protection. You might be just using her for the decreased speed. You put the decreased speed out there, you take a massive AoE, and she just dies. And you're like, what killed her? It's the ally protection that's killed her. So be aware that if you're putting her into a team that has a lot of is going to take a lot of AoE damage, you want to include a strengthen or a shield or something. She pairs really well with Mithrala for Hydra because Mithrala is going to put out that Hex. She's going to bring the strengthen. She's going to bring an increased defense. She's going to bring a shield. She's going to bring a cleanse. She's going to help keep Vizix nice and healthy. Obviously, you're still going to want a healer and maybe a reviver, in your team, which is always a good idea anyway. But just be aware of that. However, Vizix is absolutely phenomenal. Her A1 is brilliant in a lot of content. She's good for Dark Fae. She's good for... I use her against a lot of bosses. She's good against Fire Knight. She's good against most of the spider bosses. She's good against Ice Golem. You can use her in a lot of places. You can use her against Magma Dragon and Doom Tower. Yeah, so just I'll let people know again today, I am on holiday. So I'm not at home. I don't have my normal microphone. I don't have my normal camera setup. I don't have my normal monitor setup. I don't have my normal lights set up. So basically, I'm on one little monitor, and I just have my my earbud microphones. I don't have my normal microphone. So I'm sorry that it doesn't sound as good as normal today or look as good as normal today. I will be on holiday for next week's Takeover Tuesday as well. So it's going to be the same thing next week. And all of my videos this week are going to sound awful, which is unfortunate. I'm going to try to work on that a little bit. I might be able to find some way to improve the voice quality a little bit, but I apologize for that. That's just the way it worked out. Okay, let's take a look at your dungeons. How are you doing on Iron Twins? 12. Okay. I want to try something here. Let's do... Hmm. Let's try this. Let's see. I don't know how they're built, but I'm curious to see if this works. You need to get the slow out there. I guess technically you don't, because you're running Geo, but yeah, maybe we don't need a slow. Maybe we just need more defenses. So a couple of things about Iron Twins. One is you want to bring in as many champions of the boss affinity as you can, really, like realistically. You want to match that affinity. So you might have a different team for each affinity, right? Looks like we don't need this. Now, if you don't have a champion of that affinity, you prefer a strong affinity champion or maybe a void affinity champion, but you want at least 3 or 4 champions of matching affinity, unless you're doing like an unkillable or something like that. If you bring a slow, now slow can be really important. A slow prevents the boss from getting his turn meter filled. So if you look at the boss guide, where is it? Here it is. Fills the Iron Twins turn meter by 10% whenever an enemy receives a buff. So when you use buffs, the Iron Twins gets 10% turn meter. But it will not fill their turn meter if the Iron Twins are under a decreased speed debuff. So if you have a decreased speed on the boss, they don't get turn meter fill. If you don't, he gets turn meter fill. Okay, now, typically when you use Geomancer, you want to get hit, because the more often you get hit, the more he reflects that damage and gives you the extra procs, the HP percentage procs, and that burns through the Iron Twins. So in that case, you don't want to use a slow, but you do want to use damage mitigation. You want to make sure that you're staying alive as much as possible. So you want to think about, block damage champions. Those are really good. Or, bring a strengthen buff. Bring a, in this case, you're bringing a perfect veil. That helps. So, those kinds of things will allow you to not take that much damage while Geomancer is getting hit and reflecting all that damage. So that's one. But if you don't have Geomancer, you want to prevent those slows from coming through. I'm sorry, prevent those turn meter fills from coming through with a slow. So you want to drop a slow on that boss. And again, here's where affinity matters, right? Because if you have a weak affinity champion, let's say you put in Scylla the Drakes, Scylla the Drakes is actually great for Iron Twins because she has a slow on her A1, but she's weak affinity here. So that's not awesome. So I do look for slows. Oh, we actually have Astrid here. We could try her instead of Mother Cybele. I don't know. I mean, Mother Cybele's, they're both pretty good for this, I think. I mean, the nice thing about Astrid is that she brings that weaken. Although you have a weaken from Geo, I think, right? So depending on if Geo is, he's got the accuracy. He might be low on the accuracy. And that's the other thing that happens as the Iron Twins increase. Now, they nerfed the Iron Twins recently, so I don't know what the stats look like. So let's go ahead. We'll go to hellhades.com. And just come here to the raid stages tool. I don't know if they've updated. I assume they updated it because they knew this was coming. Iron Twins, Force, normal. We're at stage 13. Actually, just look at 15. It doesn't matter because you want to take the same team all the way up. Okay, so as you can see here, right above my head, the resistance of the boss is 350. You need 375 accuracy to overcome that resistance. And at 97%, right? There's always a 3% resist chance. So 375 accuracy. And if we look at Geomancer, he's at 289. So, and you have accuracy, banner, and chestplate. And you have 2 perception sets. Wow. It just gets no accuracy rolls here. There's accuracy there. You could get some accuracy maybe. What about accuracy here? You have some accuracy there. But yeah, so it can be a little bit tricky. Now you can get some free accuracy. Obviously, you can go to the Great Hall and you can do affinity bonuses, get your accuracy. So right now you're running 4 out of 10 accuracy on Force, so you can get some accuracy there. Area bonuses can be really good for this. You would just go down Iron Twins, and get accuracy. Now this accuracy is for any Iron Twins of any affinity, and it's for all of your champions. So obviously this is a little bit more universally applicable than the affinity bonus, but you don't get as much accuracy per level. Here you can see, like at this point, you're getting 10 per level. I guess technically it is the same. You're getting 80 as a max, and I think you're getting 80 as a max. It's harder to get these live arena medals. But yeah, so the accuracy requirements are going to be higher and higher. Let's see about your. Yeah, so accuracy is too low there. So to push higher through Iron Twins, I think you're just going to need more stats. That's all it's going to be. I think you've got teams. I don't think it's particularly problematic. I think this team could do well. The only thing I'm wondering is, do we pull Mother Cybele out for somebody else? Meaning, if she doesn't have the accuracy to land the slow, is she doing enough in terms of sustain? She's not. I mean, she's not. Yeah, she's not booked. I'm tempted to try to bring in some more support somewhere, but try Deliana. I know she's not booked, but we could try her. We do stage 13 already? No. Kayun. Colred using Geo and not Deacon on a team. Truly living in the. I did consider Deacon actually. Um, but Geo is, of all the things Geo is good for, I actually think Iron Twins is one of the things he's best for. He's perfect for this. Gives you some damage mitigations, gives you that reflect damage. Uh, just really good for this particular dungeon. The weaken would be good. The HP burn pairs really well with Rathalos, gives you a lot of damage there. I mean, the nice thing here is that you can see Duchess and Pythion are just tanky and have no trouble surviving this, which means that whoever you bring in is going to eventually get the job done as long as those two champions don't die. You got two AoE revives. Uh, now he's starting to do a lot of damage. Yeah, it looks like Deliana's not really getting it done. She might not be built well enough anyway. I was thinking she could get the leech out there and just be another tanky body, but we either need more damage or we need more defenses. Somebody hit the boss, for frick's sake. You see that was just like it was like 6 turns cycled with no offense there. So 2 minutes and 4 seconds, not too bad. Let's try something else here. Yeah, crop. That's actually a good idea. I've done that. I've also done that on my main account. I mean, there's a pain keeper. It would be kind of interesting to do like a. Just to check it out, see if it works. I mean, this is 3 week affinities, but I mean that shield got crunched right away, unfortunately. Yeah, I think the shield got crunched too much. You need to extend that shield or grow the shield before the boss gets his first hit because otherwise you don't have enough to multiply it by. Oh, well, he used his shield again, so I mean the nice thing here is you've got increased defense from Wixwell. You got the shield from Wixwell. Um, Elvis putting out the perfect veils, which helps with mitigation. You still have the geo passive mitigation. The buff extension, means you'll always have the speed buff, the increased defense, all that stuff. Hellborn Sprite, John Hodgson. Hellborn Sprite gives you a weaken on the A1, which does more damage, but Valerie gives you an extra. It depends. Hellborn Sprite also gives you a 15% crit rate buff. And then Valerie gives you, I think, an increased attack buff. So they both give you a buff. It really depends what you need on the team. That worked. Surprisingly, that worked. You could try stage 15, see if it works here. See, the boss is going before we even get a chance to grow the shield. So he's just fast here. No, I think this was a good suggestion. The decreased attack on the boss is really good to have that out there. Obviously, that's going to help. But then he cleanses, right? He cleanses 4 times now. Is that what he does? They changed it. He used to cleanse 5 times, and now I think he cleanses 4 times, right? Oh, no. 80, 60, and 40. It's only 3 times. Okay. Yeah, Kayun, he could also be using, I mean, if you're using Lady Mikage, that's also a factor, right? She buffs. She doesn't buff crit rate though. She buffs crit damage and attack, right? So then you wouldn't want Valerie with her. But it's when you're talking about damage for the Wixwell comp, it really doesn't matter. If you're trying to max damage, like what's the difference between 200 million and 220 million? You shouldn't care. It's like So really, it's just I think about other things like, am I going to use this champion anywhere else? Anytime you bring up a rare champion, you want to say, hey, can I use this champion in faction crypts? Because you always have the advanced quest, which requires you use one rare champion in faction crypt. So it's like, can I just slot them in and use them and in my main faction crypt team, and then I don't have to swap them out, So I like to think about stuff like that, or secret rooms in Doom Tower, or Centranos. Like, do I have spots for the champions in those places? It's a lot of damage. So here's the thing: because here we're not using the buff extensions, don't really matter that much. I would actually probably pull Valerie out of here. I might even pull Corvus out of here. Although I like Corvus for this, I do think he's helpful. Um, but if we bring in Wixwell, I'm tempted to just do this again. Like, just swap Wixwell in. What did we have? We had other side Bell. Let's stick with Elva. Let's see how this does. I don't think you need the buff extensions. You just need more mitigations. And Duchess just brings so much in terms of mitigations, right? She's one of the best champions in the game for that because she brings 15% against boss AoEs, just flat, 25% against non-bosses for AoEs. And then she also brings a perfect veil, which is another 15% damage mitigation from every hit. So, unfortunately, in this particular case, Elva being weak affinity might be an issue. And then the question is, are we going to do enough damage quickly enough here versus the stacks that are building up? And I don't know. Yeah, the accuracy, we don't have enough accuracy um, on really anybody. We definitely don't have enough accuracy on Geo. Geo needs 100 more accuracy or something like that. Looks like Wixwell has enough to at least land the decrease attack every once in a while. By the way, if you don't have enough accuracy, that doesn't mean you won't land debuffs. It just means you won't land it at the 97% rate, right? You always have a 3% chance of landing it, but then there's a curve, So if you're 20 accuracy short, you might be missing 15% of the time or something. I don't know what the exact, curve is, but you can see that Geomancer has enough accuracy to land debuffs part of the time. Yeah, that's possible, Sauce. You could do that. I'm tempted to just get rid of the Elva. She gives us the speed buff, though, which is nice. And another cleanse, which is nice. And some healing. But, like, I'm tempted to bring in, bring Rathalos back and just go for more damage and try to clear this faster. Will an accident or accuracy aura? Yeah, an accuracy aura could help, but speed is also important. But yeah, it could be worth swapping that. Newt would be excellent. Yeah. Yeah, you can see how slowly we're doing damage here. I think losing Rathalos is too big of a loss. Um, just for the increased speed buff, basically, and a couple extra heals. Geo is speed tuned, maybe. I mean, Geo is speed tuned, but I don't think it was half Geo's gear, right? It was just the one piece. Oh, it's two pieces. Maybe he doesn't want extra speed. Don't want to break the speed tune. I mean, another option is to go like more defensive, right? Like we're trying to stay alive, but I do like the speed. Let's try this. Need a lot of rebuilds. Okay. Rathalos pairs really well with Geomancer, so I do think that this was a good pairing for single target fights. So when you're fighting a boss, it's good for clan boss. It's good for um, some Doom Tower bosses, Iron Twins potentially. I mean, we're doing a lot more damage with this composition for sure. Where's that increased speed coming from? Oh, it's his skill, right? Rathalos, his A3 or whatever, he gives himself an increased speed buff, right? Okay. The boss just goes so frequently if you don't have a decreased speed on him. And when our Geomancer's down, it doesn't help us. We don't want him going. There we go. Not pretty. It's not pretty, but it works. I think that one of the things that you can do is you can check and see if your Geomancer can run faster in your speed tune. So when you're running an infinity composition, there is a lot of leeway for speeds. Um, okay, so there's this. This is the speed tune, right? But potentially you can run Geomancer significantly faster. And it may require that when you do that, you speed up one or two other champions to create the speed gaps. Like you need the right gaps in order to create a faster team. Um, Now, the nice thing is I like running Elva very fast. So potentially if you could get her a little bit faster, that creates some more room under that. You can, maybe push Corvus or Wixwell, and that'll create a little bit more of a gap. And then you can get, Geomancer up to 190 or 205 or whatever. So that is potentially there. I don't know that that's hugely important. But when you're looking at these champions in other content, the speeds may be more necessary for that other content. The other thing I think is just getting your accuracies, where you need it. So as you get into that end game content, you're going to need on your debuffers, you're going to need 350, 375 accuracy for like a lot of Doom Tower stuff, a lot of the high level dungeons, hard modes, and stuff like that. And so just keep checking out the stages tool. Like when I build any champion, I come to this and I think, okay, so here's a resistance 375, right? Like, or 350. I need an accuracy of 375. But let's go look at like Doom Tower. It doesn't matter. Let's do Astronix hard, and then stage 120. And then you look here and you're like, okay, I need 355 accuracy. So that 375 accuracy from the Iron Twins would be enough, right? But this is what I want to look at. I want to say, all right, what about hard mode? Let's do like, it doesn't matter, Dragon's Lair, hard, stage 10. What do I need here? Oh, 345. So it's like you can see that. Let's do one more. Hydra. Doesn't matter what rotation. What is up? This is weird. There we go. So let's like do Nightmare. It's like whatever. And okay, so here you need 340 accuracy, 360 accuracy here for the Head of Suffering. And if the Head of Suffering is alive, you need 50 additional resistance. So that would be 410, right? You need 410 accuracy, maybe 420 accuracy. Now, you have accuracy buffs, you have accuracy auras, you have decreased resistance debuffs. So there are ways to get additional accuracy. So I'm not saying you need to build every champion with 420 accuracy. I'm just saying that when you know what your target is, you kind of have like a ceiling. You say, okay, well, my ceiling is 400 accuracy or whatever. Now, same thing with PvP. Like if you're going up into arena, your debuffers need more accuracy because resistance shows up more in arena, for cleansers and revivers and that kind of thing. So this is where I judge how much accuracy I actually want to put on a champion. For Geomancer, if you're going to run Geomancer primarily in Clan Boss, and you're like, well, I only need 275 accuracy, but if you're going to run them in Iron Twins, and you're like, well, now I need 375 accuracy, and you get to decide whether or not that's something that you want to do. But by coming here and checking out these stages, you kind of get a sense of where any given debuffer needs to land in terms of accuracy, also where any champion needs to land in terms of speed. That's another thing here. So if we go back to that Iron Twins, stage 15, you can see the boss is running at 250 speed here. So if you want to get all of your skills off before the boss goes, you need to run everybody at faster than 250 if you factor in your speed buff, right? Or your speed aura, rather. But if you have a turn meter filler, that turn meter filler needs to be faster than 250 with that aura to get everybody to go first before the Iron Twins. Or if you don't want to do it that way, you can do it a different way. And then remember, if you're giving buffs, the Iron Twins is going to fill their turn meter anyway. So, do you want to run at a particular speed? You got to figure that out as well. And I like to, for speeds, I like to do Doom Tower as well. I like to do stage 120 of hard and see, how fast I need to run for stuff like this. So here you can see the boss again running at 250, but here's the thing: there are actually no, that's more for accuracy and resistance. Yeah. Let's go to 119 though. Yeah, here at 119. So you actually get champions that run faster. So 260 here. You get 260 for this wave. So you can look at some floors and realize, you need to run really fast for the non-boss floors as well. Just get a sense of, where you want these champions to go. And then when you're in game, and you go to build a champion, you can say to yourself, all right, if I want Geo for everywhere content, I want him everywhere, right? Then I need to run him at a reasonable speed. He doesn't have to be super fast because he doesn't have a skill where you're like really worried that he has to go super frequently, right? Because his passive is what does the damage. I need the accuracy to be 375. So what does that mean in terms of gear? What does that mean in terms of mastery? Blessing, all the things. Let's talk about like a more classic debuffer. Let's talk about your Astrid because you're still building her, right? So this is a champion who's got a decreased speed, a weaken, and a turn meter decrease, plus a sleep, right? So you need accuracy on this champion to land all of these debuffs. Are you going to run her in high-end Doom Tower? Probably. Are you going to run her in high-end PvP? Probably. So we're talking about 400 accuracy here. And we already know that she needs to go fast, right? You're trying to run her at over 300 speed. So, the regeneration set, the retaliation set, like, the avenging set, like, okay, this is a quad roll. I get it. But what you're trading away for speed here is the accuracy. And even if she's super fast, if she doesn't have the accuracy, she doesn't do the job. So we need to get her into an accuracy banner. We need to get her into some perception gear. So this is what I would look for in terms of a rebuild. I would focus on perception gear. And I would say I want the fastest perception gear that you have. So let's go ahead and priority stats. We want speed. Okay. This is a triple speed roll. I don't know if you want to take that off of him, but here's a triple speed roll. Maybe that's something that you want on her, right? And you're like, okay, I'm giving away 3 speed. This isn't glyphed yet, though. All right, you don't want to take away his speed. Here's speed and accuracy. That's really good for her. Let's see. Double speed roll. Let's take that. What about a chess piece? Double speed roll with accuracy, HP percentage. That's beautiful. See if we can get another speed roll. Get it. Right, so you have a 1 point glyph there, no glyph there, no glyph there, no glyph there, and no glyph there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 5 glyphs additionally. So you can get more than the 313 speed that you started with, right? And you've added, here you've added 40 accuracy. You're going to be able to get another 28 accuracy or whatever when you upgrade this. This goes all the way to 78. And then you have an accuracy glyph there. You have an accuracy glyph there. I don't know if you have any other accuracy glyphs. Accuracy glyph there. So you could probably get another 30 to 40 accuracy. Now all of a sudden you're pushing that 275. Yes, she still needs more, right? But like I would trade away 5 or 6 speed for 80 accuracy. And you may not have to. You just have to kind of, prioritize what it is that you're going after. But when you have a debuffer like this, like yes, she needs to run fast, but if she doesn't have accuracy, that speed does you no good, right? That's different than Arbiter, right? So when we're looking at Astrid here, she is different than Arbiter because she needs to be fast and accurate. That's like Deacon. Arbiter does not need to be accurate at all because her A3 is an increased attack and a 30% turn meter fill. So here, speed is key. She could be a glass cannon build. She could be super tanky. She could be really resistant. It doesn't really matter as long as she's fast because this is the skill that you care about, just firing off that increased attack and that turn meter fill, right? That 30% turn meter fill. But if you look at, Ashrid, first of all, her turn meter fill is only 15%. 15%. You do get the increased speed, which is nice. But now you need that decreased speed. You need that turn meter decrease. You need that weaken. Those are all of the benefits. This is the skill that really, like, the reason that this skill is so cool is because it has that extra turn mechanic like Deacon Armstrong does. And then it leads into this skill. But this is the skill that has to land, right? This is the skill that requires accuracy. So without the accuracy, the speed is really wasted, which is why, like, Arbiter is great into Astrid. Astrid's a little bit harder to use as a fastest champion because she needs accuracy too, whereas Arbiter is just easier. Same thing with like Seeker. Seeker as the fastest champion, really easy. Why? You don't care about anything. Like if you want to use him as a provoker, you need some accuracy, but he gives you an increased attack and a 30% turn meter fill, so you just need him fast. Deacon is a perception set guy. You want him fast, but you need that accuracy, preferably, that 375 accuracy, 400 accuracy for PvE. Elva doesn't need accuracy. She doesn't have any debuffs, right? So in this particular case, if she were going to be your fastest champion, you would just run her with speed. Now, she doesn't have a turn meter fill. I'm just giving you an example. This is a buff champion kind of support. So any debuffer needs accuracy, enough accuracy. Now, if you have a debuffer who's going into certain content, that's the only content they're going into, then you just need to hit that threshold. So if you're like, I have a debuffer who is in hard mode Hydra, and that's like where their stats cap out. Then you say, okay, you check the hard mode Hydra, you need, 225 accuracy or 250 accuracy. You get there, and then you just stop because you're not using them in PvP, and you're not using them in hard Doom Tower or anything like that. They just need this one job. And so then you can you can choose their stats very directly. You can say, this is the stat that I know I need. But when you have a champion who is multifaceted and you want to use in a lot of places, then you need to get as many stats. You just need to push stats into their build, but you want to prioritize the stats in the right way. So again, Astrid is actually accuracy before speed. And that's why it might be easier to make her your second fastest champion rather than your fastest champion. That's what I run with Deacon. Like Deacon and Astrid overlap a lot. They're very similar champions. Sorry, public safety message. But Astrid and Deacon, like from a theory standpoint, are almost identical. Astrid is a stronger champion. She is the better champion of the two. Although it's a smaller gap than you might think. Deacon is incredibly. He's a legendary champion basically. Um, but I run my Deacon at like 270, 280 in three perceptions. That's with 400 accuracy, 450 accuracy. And yes, it's hard to get there, but that's what you need to do with Astrid, the same thing. Which is why, like, having an Elva as your fastest champion, having a Arbiter as your fastest champion, having a Seeker as your fastest champion, like those champions don't need to have accuracy, so it's easier to run them faster. I'm wondering if you let me see. I think what I would do. I think what I would do in terms of flexibility, like in terms of if I'm just building champions for a wide roster, like a wide variety of possibilities, I would probably run my Arbiter. By the way, you don't need to book Arbiter for her to be awesome because turn meter fill just has to fire once in arena. I would get my Arbiter to like 320 speed, 330 speed. However you can. It literally doesn't matter what kind of gear she has. Just get her to that speed. Have her be the fastest champion. I would run Deacon as fast as possible. Like if I could get him to 300, that'd be great. 290 would be really good. 280 is fine. If I can get him there, he's your PvE speed lead because he has the 19% speed aura in all battles, and you need him to be fast for that turn meter fill. And then I would run Astrid and Elva right behind him at like 260 or something like that. And then everybody else can run slower. I mean, if you're going to run High Katoon or Apothecary, you want to run them fast. But otherwise, it doesn't really matter. Same thing with Seeker. You want to run him pretty fast. But again, 250 would be fine for Seeker if he's behind those champions. So what happens is in PvP, you have your increased attack champion turn meter fill into your decreased defense turn meter fill into your weakened turn meter fill into your nuker. Or you can pull either Deacon or Estrid out because they'll both be speed tuned with Arbiter, and then you can get let's see, you can get Wukong in there or Armands, and then you run them into your nuker, so Rathalos or whoever you want, right? Now I do think Armands again, same thing. Like you've got great accuracy here, you've sacrificed a little bit of speed. If you can get more speed into his thing, we talked about this, like getting rid of these gauntlets and getting more speed here. He's running at 260, which is not bad, but I would like him to be speed tuned with that Arbiter. So, if you're running her, let's say at 320, then try to figure out where you need Armands. It might be like 270, 275 to get him speed tuned, and then you're in really good shape. I don't know where you use him. Like outside of PvP, I don't know where you use him, but he can be useful in a lot of places. In wave content, he's just really good. Can we put the Astrid gear on Arbiter, then redo Astrid? Let's take a look. All right, get the lower steel on her. You can figure out what the rest is that you want to do, but this can be good. Um, you could go all the way down here. You could go all the way down here. You could always go for War Master. There's some options there, but I just want to get Laura Steel on her. All right, let's take a look. Let's just look at your Arbiter. Let's see how fast we can get her. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to start with speed boots. We're going to go for 6-star speed boots, and we'd prefer the speed set here. I also like to look at divine speed. Supersonic is also really good. So you can see here you get 30. If you have the 8-piece, you get the 30%, but you also get this increases any fill turn meter effects on the cast by the wear by 30%. So if you can actually get to 9, this is awesome. Let's see if you have any supersonic. No supersonic. Okay. So again, speed and divine speed. $21 on the shield. That's really nice. Take that. Best chess piece looks like 11. Curious about perception, actually. I also want to look at divine speed. I'm sorry, not divine speed, supersonic for a second, because you get the bonus at 3-piece. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have it. Okay, so yeah, so I think we'll get more speed out of this. We'll try that, and then let's see about these 2 pieces. That's 18. That's nice. It's also 18. So this could still roll into another speed. Let's go ahead and roll that. Nice. So if we take that, that puts us in a situation where we need to either get rid of a speed piece or get rid of the perception piece, right? So let's see for a second. Let's see if we have. All right, we're at 277 with no glyphs. No, there's a glyph there and a glyph there, but that glyph's going to be overridden. Triple, triple. So what that? That's 35, right? Yeah, it's about the same. If we swap the sets, it's about the same. So now when you get your, you got 21 here. That gets you to 298 with no glyphs. 298 with no real glyphs except this one. And you got a 3 glyph here, which you might overwrite anyway. Um, so this is where you use these glyphs, and you could potentially get to like 320 on this arbiter. You could potentially get to like 320 on this arbiter, and you could even get faster if you roll. Like in the future, you have growth potential because you have these perception pieces. Like, so if you got a double roll that's equivalent here in a speed piece, and then you can put in a 6-star speed boot, then you can get an additional 7 speed out of that just by switching the sets. Or if you got these pieces here. And again, the stats don't matter. For Arbiter, all you care about is going fast. But if you can get it in HP percentage or defense percentage or whatever, that tends to be better. You want her tanky because she's a reviver. But I think that's pretty good. And you can see you don't really have to strip Astrid's gear that much. But I think that would be a pretty good build for her. So, you can go ahead and like screenshot this or bookmark this, come back to this, because I'm not going to do this right now. I don't want to swap this stuff for you because there's more considerations here. I don't know all your champions and what you need on your gear. I really like this piece. This is a beautiful piece for Arbiter, and I think this is a really beautiful piece as well. So, and as far as Astrid's concerned, yeah, this is where like I start to just look at sets. You can go ahead and use the optimizer if you like, but I really just like looking at the sets and saying like, what do I need here? I need speed and accuracy. Start rolling up pieces that fit the bill. This is a pretty good piece. You could always. Sorry about that. So there, you could always like slot a piece and say, can I do better than that? But this is where you start to roll up these pieces. This is the piece probably that you want to roll because this one has crit damage, crit rate, accuracy. This is really good. This is like a Wukong piece. This is great for Wukong. And you also have more flexibility about how that rolls. This is nice though. This is really nice with the accuracy. I might slot that piece instead. And then just do the same thing. Like, okay, speed and accuracy. This is really good. Let's go ahead and roll this up. Let's see if we get some speed or accuracy roll would be best. We want one in each at least. There we go. That's beautiful. Keep pushing. You can always roll that again later. Shield. Let's do this. Let's do accuracy as a substat. I like this with the HP. I like this one with the resistance. Probably for her, I would go with the HP. But again, you can roll them both. One of the nice, I know this is a 5-star, but you just kind of gotta take what you get there. That's a really nice piece. You want her tanky. You want her survivable. She doesn't need damage. All right, here she is at 255. You're at 348 accuracy, right? We wanted that 375. This will go up another 28 accuracy. You've got the accuracy that you need. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 speed glyphs to go. If you average 4, that's another 24 speed. That gets you up to 379 or 279, 280. That's where we said we wanted her, right? That's the perfect spot for her to be running. If you could run her a little bit faster, that'd be okay. But you're going to have the accuracy. You're going to have the speed. This is a build for Astrid, right? Like she's going to be highly usable in this case. She doesn't need to be your fastest champion if you've got that arbiter in arena, and she doesn't need to be your fastest champion outside of arena because she doesn't have that speed aura. She could still be your fastest champion, that's okay, but you're going to need to slot her in with a Deacon or an Elva to bring that speed aura into the team composition. Remember that your aura champion doesn't have to be your fastest champion, but you want a turn meter fill champion typically to be your fastest champion. So if you're going to run Elva in the lead spot, Astrid could still be your fastest champion. But for PvE, right, a fastest champion at 280 is fast enough for basically everything except Fire Knight hard mode. Right, that's the only place that's going to be too slow. So 280 is a really nice PvE space to run, unless you need to speed tuner into a clan boss team or something. So this would be a great, this would be a great place. Hey, Jacques. Well, happy birthday to your dad. Father's Day and birthday back to back. You want it? You want this build? Okay, let's do this build. We're only pulling boots off of Ferric the Fat, so you'll need to get boots onto Ferric the Fat. What I typically do when I am glyphing, and this is for myself. So let's say we were going to glyph this, right? This is the double roll. Everything else, double roll. Everything else is basically single rolls, double roll. If it's a 5-star piece, and I really need the speed, like I might use a 5-star glyph here. I might, but typically this is what 4-star glyphs are for, even 3-star glyphs if you need to, right? Triple rolls and better are the 5-star, 6-star glyphs. Quad rolls are always the maximum glyph. Triple rolls are usually the maximum glyph. Everything else, every double roll is typically a 4-star glyph or a 3-star glyph, unless I need to eke out 1 or 2 more speed for a particular reason. I might do that on Arbiter, just because if she has a double roll, I don't care. I still want the maximum speed because she's my go first champ in arena, or a speed tune for clan boss or something. Those are the only times I use 5-star and 6-star glyphs if it's not a triple roll. So this is a great Astrid build now, and again, you're going to want to glyph this out. You are going to want to glyph this out and, get that accuracy as well. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places to get accuracy as well. So like this as a PvP champion, more accuracy is better. So again, don't hesitate to go all out on the accuracy. So like the 348 that we're running out, we're talking about 375 for Iron Twins, but 450 is great for arena, for live arena. So she's going to be in a beautiful place for live arena, for regular arena. And you can push her her levels. You might even get an extra speed roll here, which would be really nice on this legendary piece. And then go ahead and actually, like, this is something to look for. First of all, she needs accuracy and she needs speed, so you want her in the support tree. She's at 255 right now. And now she's at 258. So she got 3 extra speed from Lore of Steel. How much extra accuracy did she get? She got 18 accuracy? I think she got 18 accuracy. Right, she was at 348. She's now at 376. Actually, she might have got more. She got a lot of accuracy out of that. So with 3 sets of perception, that's 120. So she got 18. I think she got 18 accuracy. So again, this is how you synergize all the aspects of the build: the gear, the masteries, the blessings, the great haul, the area bonuses, the accessory, everything to try to get, optimize what is it that she does really, really well. It's that debuff, turn meter combo, which needs speed and accuracy. She's beautiful now. She's beautiful. And once you glyph her, she's going to be absolutely amazing for you. And, get the rest of the masteries done. And again, you can get that Arbiter build, and Arbiter is going to lead really nice at 320, right? If you do this, let me see if I can do this on screen. I don't know if I can do this on screen. Let me add the calculator. Okay, so this is how you consider a speed tune, right? So you take the speed tune and you divide it by the speed that, or the turn meter fill that you get. So if let's say she runs at 320, she gives a 30% turn meter fill. So you're going to divide her by 1.3. The 0.3 is the 30% turn meter fill. So it's 130% of turn meter, right? Because everybody starts with 100% of their turn meter. You're giving them an additional 30% of your turn meter. This means that the next fastest champion needs to run at 246 in order to be speed tuned. So right now, Astrid is within that window. So that's great for PvP. It's going to be no problem. You could probably run your Arbiter. Let's see if you ran her at 350, what would happen? You need 270, right? So that's the nice thing about that 30% turn meter fill. Now, if you were running Astrid, let's say at 320, you're only getting 15%. So you do 1.15, and you have to run the next champion at 279, right? So 320 to 279, it's like you have to run them a lot faster, but you just get so much more leeway with that 30% turn meter fill. Plus, you get the increased attack and all that stuff. So this is really nice. Now, for PvE, if you're running Astrid at, let's see, what is she right now? 250. You said she's 255? 258. So you can go in the other direction. You can then do 258 times 1.15. And this gives you 296.7. So if Deacon's running at 296, they're still connected, right? If Deacon is your fastest champion and he's going first, or you can run Astrid faster if you want. Like we said, we could get her up to 280, and that gives you leeway with Deacon. Now, your Deacon, what speed is Deacon currently running at? He's running at 238. So let's say you were running Astrid at, what did we say? 258. Let's say we're running her at 280. Divide 1.15. You need to run him at 243, and he's currently running at 238. So you could get him to 243, right? Shouldn't be too hard to get him a few more speed. Whether you do that through, glyphs or an extra speed roll somewhere. Like this isn't glyphed, this speed isn't glyphed. This speed isn't glyphed. That's enough right there. Two 4-point glyphs, and you got 246. That's what we said, right? You needed 245. So speed tuned. Boom, boom, boom. PvE speed tuned, PvP speed tuned. Beautiful. You know what you got everywhere. I would actually push him further. I would, if you could. Speed boots. You don't have speed boots on him. Let's see. You lose 1 accuracy, and you gain 28 speed, 26 speed. Yeah, didn't land where I wanted it to. That's not bad. Let's do this one. Yeah, so these are better speeds for these three champions. And you'll be astonished at how increasing the speed of like a Deacon Armstrong or an Astrid improves your team compositions in PvE or PvP, like just across the board, right? Because now you're running, let's say you're running Astrid, where is she? She's 258. What's Deacon at? 258 and 264. So now let's go into a dungeon, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's do dragon or something. Let's go to hard mode dragon. All right. All right. So now what we do is we're looking for these two champions to be the engines, right? So we're going to use Deacon as our speed lead, and then we're going to use Astrid as our second turn meter fill. She's going to give us the speed boost. Where is she? Where is she? She's going to give us the increased speed. She's also going to give us more turn meter fill. These two will help us just lock down the waves. By the way, you could also use Elva. Like Elva would be great here as well. In fact, Elva is probably better than Deacon. I might use all three of them. Let's try that. These waves are never going to go. They're never going to get a chance to go. Turn meter decrease. You have the accuracy on both champions now to land your turn meter decrease 100% of the time. All right, they did get to go. I'm surprised. There we go. It's the AoE slow that we didn't have before, right? Oh, she's also weak affinity. That's why. Shouldn't be an issue, though. Is she running? She's running the crit rate gauntlets. Is that right? Those are the ones we're going to swap over to Arbiter anyway. So she'll get tankier when you put HP percentage gauntlets on her or defense percentage gauntlets on her. So now you've got the decreased defense, the weaken, the increased attack, the block debuffs, the increased speed, decrease attack, cleanse, revive. Like, this team literally has everything, and then you have Rathalos to do the, you know, the bonus damage on top of Artak's HP burn. This doesn't strike me as a fasting, but we're running three supports, right? So again, we could pull Deacon out of here, right? Because we have Elva for the speed aura, and Deacon's just bringing a decreased defense, which kind of overlaps anyway. Or we could pull Astrid and leave Deacon. I like the weaken though. I think the weaken's really good. You don't have to go Artak here. You could go more direct damage, but like this is a really solid team that's just going to cruise through this. Like you're not going to have any problems. And this same team could potentially take you all the way up to stage hard hard mode stage 10. Congrats, level 90. And I hear things like, Deacon Armstrong isn't an endgame epic. And it's like, he crushes dungeons. He crushes Doom Tower waves. Like, he's great. He's a 100% AoE drop defense plus a turn meter decrease. He just lets you control waves. And Astrid is like an upgraded Deacon. And they pair well together because she brings a weaken where he brings the decreased defense, right? Plus she brings an increased attack. So it's just such a nice combo. We could pull at, if we wanted to be like more offensive here, we could pull that. We could do something like this. You want it a lot. If you want a lot of wave control, you can do this, and then they really will never get a turn. Might do that anyway. That's nice. I'm wondering if this would work. Let's just try it for fun. So without Elva, we lose the block debuffs, which is significant on the boss and the cleanse. But I'm wondering if the passive from Corvus just makes it immaterial, and he's going to help us with wave clearing so that we go faster. We get to the boss faster. Hey, Tonk. I'm in a different room with a different mic. It's both. I'm on holiday, so I'm not at home. I don't have my setup. I'm using my earbuds microphones. This looks like it's going to be a little bit faster. So this team has no sustain. Without Elva, it's just you just got to burn through it. You can see in a minute 50. So I think we did the previous one in like 2.5 minutes or 2:40 or something like that. So um, you could stick with this too. You could try that. That could be fun. You lose the decreased defense, which means it's going to be a little bit slower, but you gain the heals, the revive, the block debuffs, and the cleanse. So it'll make it really consistent. You don't have to worry about dying to the boss. So it's just a question of, do you want speed or do you want consistency? Do you want to not fear the occasional loss of energy? I personally don't mind. Like when I'm pushing up hard mode stages, I don't mind going slow. My personal feeling is like I want to progress to stage 10, get to stage 10, get that so it's as close to 100% as possible, and then worry about speeding it up. And then I start thinking about things like seer comps. Can I wipe out waves with like a reset champion and seer, or I'm leveling new champions, so I might consider like a better wave clear damage dealer or somebody who's going to like crush the boss. You know, now I have Newt and you don't have Newt, and that makes a difference because Newt makes every boss fight go fast. Excuse me. But you can think about what might speed up your run here. The other thing is once you get to stage 10, you can worry about affinity because now you don't have to worry about changing affinity as you level up. So you just get to stage 10 and you're like, well, I think all the stage 10s are void affinity anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Um, but then you don't have to worry about like swapping affinity champions or champions affinity to get through the levels. And yeah, Whisper could do a lot of work here on if you need a boss killer. Whisper is a good boss killer. You could also bring in champions. I know you have a Fane built. Fane can do really good work here. Um, Not as good against waves, right? Fane isn't awesome against waves. Hey, Dark, I've been okay. I've been okay. I'm tired. I'm tired. Um, I get the late night baby shift, which is fun and like sweet, but it's also a challenge. I think this team, with some tweaks, will take you all the way up to stage 10 hard mode here. I want to see one more thing before we move on. Filter. So champions like Walking Tomb Drain can also help sometimes, and he pairs pretty well with Artak because he can place the burns and Artak can activate the burns. Chronom, I haven't run yet, but he's kind of like Ninja, right? Yeah. You could also try bringing in Farrakhan. I know we just debooted him, but you could put a boot back on him, get him masteried, because he brings a lot. He brings that increased crit rate, increased crit damage, so your direct damage is going to do more. He does the ally attack, which is great as well, which is going to help with like Rathalos, right? So yeah, you got nice options for damage, I think. Hey, look at that, legendary tome. Congrats. All right, so let me just check here. Do you have any more questions? We covered a lot of stuff. Well, we don't have a directed takeover. It's like, hey, just help out my account. Like we just wander around and find stuff. Let's see. Let's just look at your spider dungeon for right now. Oh, see, you're pushing pretty far here. Obviously, you have Artak, so that's really good. Um, this is a place where Ashid works, by the way. This is a place where Ashid works. So if you go ahead and you can pull your here. This is what I would do here. Let's see. I would get rid of Duchess. See what are you currently running? Yeah, I think what I would run here is I would probably run. I'm gonna go back to that. I'm gonna go back to Deacon Astrid combo, which I just think is sick in all dungeons. We want Artak and Rathalos. And then the question is, do we want that Elva? Do we want this? Do we want this? This? Okay, and then what you need to do is need to open with this. Is he running? They're running slow. The 179, 208. 208's okay. 179 is slow for RTAC. So for this, what we want to do is open, probably open here. See, Deacon's going to give you that AoE weaken. Now you get the, I'm sorry, AoE decreased defense. Then you get the AoE weaken. You get the HP burns. Yeah. So it's just too slow. Hang on a sec. So I think what we need to do actually is set that up and have Rathalos nuke. I think he has to nuke first. Because of the speeds, I think we have to nuke first. So I'm going to get the decreased defense. No, didn't work. What's going on with Deacon for a second? Oh, you know what it is? We don't need it. You've got him in a cursed set. You've got him in a cursed set. Okay. Oh wait, we don't have. I need accuracy. Let's do it again. '21 speed for 17 accuracy. It's not too bad. We could take that. And then let's look at cursed. That's an unfortunate roll there. That double attack does nothing for him. It's better. 207 speed, 332 accuracy. That's better. I like to run him around 240. You have no speed roll on this cursed set. You have no speed roll on this gauntlet here. So even, if you can just find replacement pieces in the future, they're both HP percentage, which is nice for him. So, obviously that's preferable. But you should be able to get him to 220-ish pretty easily, which is a nice place for him to be. I'd rather run him at 240, but it'll help with stuff like this. Let's see if this works now. I don't know if okay. 284. Astrid's not booked yet either. That's going to be such an improvement when you can start to book her, especially if you can get these two cooldowns first. It's massive. So now you get the increased speed out first, which is great. Then you get the turn meter decrease, then the drop defense, then the weaken. That's the problem. That's where the nuke problem is. Because I'm thinking Rathalos should just wipe them out. But the problem is Rathalos gets the power from Artak's HP burn going out first, right? And that's not happening because Rathalos is faster than Artak at 208 versus 207. So all we need to do is speed up Artak a little bit. Let's see what happens. I'm going to try Dust one time. No, okay. That's fine. They're the same speed now, but I don't know what their actual speed is. Artax 208, Rathalos is 208. And Artax ahead in the turn order, but let's see if it works this time. Rathalos going first. Actually speeds him up. Make him a little less tanky and hit a little bit harder, which is good. All right, last try. So now we should get the decreased defense, the weaken. Now we get the HP burn. And now Rathalos nukes. And let's see if he actually kills these spiderlings. There we go. That's better, right? It's a lot better. And now you can actually survive some of that from the boss. You still want to hit harder. But that's where we need to be in terms of like wiping out a wave with Rathalos. It's a lot of spiderlings. So the speed tune even here really matters, right? It's like can we get that optimal damage from Rathalos? We're close to this. You're close to Spider 10. You're close to Spider 10. I do think the one thing you want to do looking forward with Rathalos, um, I think the Relentless build is okay. I don't think it's wonderful, but I think it's okay. You could definitely go this way. But what I would highly recommend doing is trying to get into a crit damage gauntlet. This one looks very nice. So if you're going to stay with Relentless, see if we can get a crit rate roll or a speed roll. Crit rate. All right, so that's really nice. So in order to do a crit damage gauntlet, you need to have crit rate substats on pretty much every piece. So let's see if we can find this. Crit rate, come on. Oh, yeah, okay, so not quite there. No, he's going too fast again. He's going too freaking fast. But I think we lose some of that, right? And we got speed. Ah, well. Okay. All right. So we lost 1,000 attack. We dropped down to 4K attack. But we picked up, we're at 294 crit damage. So we picked up something like 80% crit damage, which is going to make up the difference. So it's going to more than make up the difference. You can get a lot more speed out of this build as well, which is kind of nice. You could even potentially get so much speed that you could get him into attack percentage boots and get all of that attack percentage back. So if we did, okay. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't see anything here. I mean, maybe in the cruel set, maybe you could swap out these crit damage pieces for cruel set, which would work. But you could definitely also look for attack percentage boots in the crit damage set and get that back. And then when you speed glyph, you're going to lose 25 speed, which might not be awful. You can get some more speed here. You might not even lose that much. But let's go ahead and see now. Now, again, remember, our attack isn't fast enough to give us the HP burn. So we're just going to see how hard Rathalos smacks just straight up. It's decent. So again, if we could get that R-Tac to 240, so he goes in front of Rathalos, now we get R-Tac going faster. He gets that HP burn out there. Rathalos is hitting a lot harder, and he's going to do some work there for you. Plus, you can still get him faster. You can get him up to 220, which would be really nice. Or maybe you lose get the attack percentage boots and you lose a little bit of speed, but you're still going to be over 200, I think. So, sorry, that wasn't complete, but that's definitely, you want a speed tune for those dungeons. And I think the biggest issue here is just these cursed pieces. Now I know you need a cursed set for Hydra. But again, you've got these 3 champions. So you can get him out of a cursed set. So what I would look to do is start with Mithrala, get her ascended and all that, and then pull Artak out of the cursed set and put him in more perception pieces. Like if you can get him in HP percentage perception pieces. This would be great. Now you get that additional speed, you get the additional accuracy. This one looks really good, nice 6-star piece. If you can get some speed on there. Get him some more survivability, more speed, more accuracy. Get that accuracy up where we were talking about, above that 375 range. Now he's going to hit, or I guess it's 350 for hard mode dungeons. You're going to hit everywhere, and then he's going to crush it for you. So when you're gearing a champion, you don't want to just look at what that champion needs. You also want to look at what those compositions need, right? And we know that you're running the cursed set for a reason, but that reason is now covered. Right, Mithrala's got you covered. After that, you've got Vildrax. He's got you covered. After that, you've got a Kemptum. And a Kemptum is great in a lot of places, too. You can use him for wave clear. You can use him against Fire Knight. He's great. He's great in Doom Tower. But he's really good in that Hydra position, giving you that AoE Hex. So you've got 3 Hex champions. You don't need this cursed set anymore, so you can get faster. You can just drop this cursed set once you have those champions built. Okay. So we're going to do a 10 pop of Ancient Shards. Let's go ahead and do we have a particular champion that we're looking for? This guy's an AoE stun champion. Obviously, Hydra Goddess here. All good champions. Do you have a preference? We don't need space, but do you have a preference of which champion? You want Trunda? Okay. We're going to do a 10 pull here. All right. Good luck, everybody. Everybody wish Ian luck here. Let's see gold. Don't blue tax me. Epic Shatter Balance. Okay. Well, that's for your CVC. Ian, thanks for letting me tool around on your account. That was a longer takeover. I don't do a lot of 2 hour plus takeovers anymore, but that was fun. It was not a very focused one. We're jumping around to a lot of things. But I would say, in general, the lessons that I would take away from this, which are really important, is that champions, like debuff champions especially, really need accuracy. Accuracy is so important. But as you climb up in your stages, as you get into the end game, late game, the stat requirements become so important. You really need to focus champions on one specific thing. And think about like the best role for that champion. And again, the synergies of that champion in the compositions. How do you speed tune them with the other champions? What about the gear sets that you're using for all the different champions? So yeah, I think for you today, we did some decent rebuilds. Get that Arbiter going really fast. Get her fully ascended. Get her into arena for you, and you're going to crush. And again, you have that Wukong there. You have, whether you want to use Rathalos or Genbo as your nuker, you've got those champions there. And then I think this Artak PvE thing also, continuing to finish out your Mithrala and stuff like that for PvE. She's so good in so many places. You can throw her in all those dungeons too. You could throw her up against Dragon. She's great against Ice Golem. She's going to help you in a lot of places. Probably, you could even use her in Spider, because if you get the Hex out there on the Spiderlings, that's going to help you nuke the Spiderlings down too. So you could even use her there. So, all right, man. I hope that was helpful. I can't help it but clear the red dots. I have to all the time. All right, so I'm going to shut this down, and I'm actually going to jump on my main account for a little bit. So I think that's the only takeover today, unfortunately. I am on holiday. I'm not going to go all the way until like 6 p.m. like I normally do. I'm probably going to stop here in about 15 minutes. But I want to, interact with you guys, answer some questions. So if anybody has any questions about champions, about builds, about dungeons, about anything that I can show you on my main account, if you want to talk about the Wixwell, Infinity Comp, any questions that you have right now is a great opportunity. So I'm going to go for about 15, 20, 25 minutes maybe. If I get really on a roll, I'll probably go for a half an hour. But I'm not going to do another takeover. I apologize for that. But I'm glad Ian, who has been with me since the Bastion video, he said, which is that was like one of my very first videos. That's more than a year ago. And he finally got his first takeover, so I'm really happy about that. I did the Fire Knight tournament, yeah. I've started it. So that's a good question. So I'm doing stage 20. It's not a turn attack tournament. It's just a regular tournament, but epics only. So this is the team that I landed on because I'm trying to get it faster. And so my first team was I think my first team was a Kemptum instead of Royal Guard. No, I used Seeker. I used Seeker and a Kemptum. And then I decided to swap these champions in. Now Ruella's not finished. This guy's mostly finished. I mean, I have most of the stuff. Royal Guard should be in good shape. Yeah, he's in okay shape. Where's Ruella though? Ruella's in a destroy set. She's not glyphed. She is booked. She's not got masteries. But she brings a decreased defense, weaken, and decreased speed, right? And that's just killer on that triple hit. Plus, she's got turn meter fill. She's got turn meter steal. So I really like her for this. I'll show you the AI that I'm using. So basically, when you get to the boss, Deacon opens with his A1 because he's the fastest champion. You can see he's running at 298. He's not actually that fast, by the way. That's not his build speed. I do have some speed in the area bonuses. And you can see nobody else is all that fast. Allure is in a Relentless set, I believe, but she's running kind of slow. So he goes first. He does his double hit A1. And then who's second? Yeah, and then Neldor does his 4-hitter. And then Ruella, I should probably have her open. I should probably have her open with her A1. Allure has only the A1, and then I turned off the A3 for Royal Guard because Ruella has the decreased speed. I don't think I want to do that, though. He opens with it and then turns it off, right? So he does land the decreased speed. But this is also a turn meter reduction, so maybe I should just open that and then use it like normal. Yeah, so that'd be fine. Well, let's see. The downside of this team is that my hardest hitter, which is Royal Guard, is weak affinity, and so is my Allure, and she's the turn meter decreaser. So Greer the Mad says Arbiter, Armans, Shuzen, who should be the fastest champion on your account? It really depends. You can never go wrong with Arbiter being the fastest champion on your account. But if you're already very comfortable with your Gold 5 team and you don't need Arbiter to go any faster, then I would say Armans could be useful because you can use him in a lot more PvE content, like especially in Doom Tower. And a really fast Armans can be great. However, if you do live arena, it can be tricky because people will let you have Arbiter and ban Armans, right? So if you are running a lot of live arena, you might just want to keep pumping speed into Arbiter and like get Armans to reasonably fast, 300, 315, whatever. But if you're running Arbiter at 350, 360, then and again, this scales up. So if you're not that far into the game yet, it's like you could be running Arbiter at 280 and Armans at 260, whatever. Ferres says, I sent my Wixwell tune on Discord in Clan Boss chat. Any advice? I'm not looking at that right yet, but I'll see if I can look at it later. Colred, what do you think is the best set on a miscreated monster? That's a good question. You could go with like Regeneration. You could go with Stalwart. Stalwart's a very good set on him. Maybe Stalwart and Perception. You need enough accuracy to land his stun. But Stalwart helps make him more survivable when he has his ally protection up. Kayun says, if my Wixwell team is working with one of the extenders at 50, should I worry about 60 in him or save the chickens for someone else? Yeah. As long as you're getting the damage you need, I wouldn't worry about 6-star on him. I ran a Clan Boss speed tune with a 5-star Renegade for like a year before I 6-starred her, so this isn't too bad. You can see minute 47. R says, I just got a Kempton. Is he an upgrade for Kale in a Clan Boss team? In a Clan Boss team, I don't know that he's enough of an upgrade in a Clan Boss team to like justify building him for that. However, he's a better champion overall. He's better in Hydra. He's better in wave content. A Kempton's a very, very good epic. You can use Maneater instead of Allure. That's true, and I have enough hits, and Maneater would probably do more damage. He's not as good at waves, though. He might slow me down on the waves. I only did one takeover today, Alex. Deacon, Archmage, Skimfos, Venom Mage, and Royal Guard. That works, Kirk. I like that. Archmage is really nice because he gives you that AoE stun on the waves, plus he gives you all those buffs, increase crit rate and crit damage and stuff. I forget all of the buffs. I don't use him in anything. I just know he's got a whole lot of buffs because people pair him with Seer. Yeah, if you're talking about a Kempton can be a very good clan boss damage dealer. You don't need to worry about, like, he brings good damage. He's probably an upgrade from Kale. But I don't know that he's enough of an upgrade from Kale that if that's the primary reason that you're building him, that you would build him for that. You know what I mean? Unfortunate. Two Savage pieces that are just borderline. Yeah, you're welcome. Um, Fushan would be nice. I'd like a Fushan. Can I show Rhineblade build? Sure. So I just built him recently. He's not in his final form, but this is the way I'm going with him. You can see 537 accuracy. I was pushing accuracy for his freezes, decreased speeds, right? Primarily, I've built him for Fire Knight hard mode. So currently, he's above where he needs to be in terms of accuracy. And I could use him faster. So, like, I'll probably swap out his accuracy, for at least one set of accuracy for perception gear, maybe. 100% crit rate, only 151% crit damage, which is not a lot. I'd like him to do more damage. And his masteries are pretty, standard. I could potentially not run him in support. I could run him in defense to try to get counterattacks, stuff like that, but it's not a huge deal. What I want to actually do is extend the debuffs. And so that's why I went down here. Plus, the Lore of Steel makes it a little bit easier with the accuracies and speeds and stuff. PRCVC is a good time to throw in a couple of yellow shards. That's true. Hey, Selena Feline, good to see you. Deacon, Allure, Ruella, Archmage, and Psylocke. Yeah, okay, that's similar to what I'm using. I think you mean Sylar, not Psylocke, but yeah. Or maybe I'm wrong. You mean Sylar, right? Not Psylocke. Why so much accuracy? I don't need all of the accuracy. I don't need all of the accuracy for Neldor. This is so one of the things that I've done here, and this is not like a phenomenal. I'm not saying you should copy this build. You can see he's got the accuracy chest plate. It's like I don't need all of this accuracy. I can put him into an attack percentage chest plate or whatever. I just built him. Like I just built him, and I just literally threw him into the fastest gear I had because I wanted him running fast. So you can see that this accuracy helmet has triple speed. We've got a triple speed here, right? And I wanted him to have 100% crit rate. So it's like, that's what I ended up with. Once I do a deeper dive into my gear, I'll probably swap out like some of this accuracy gear for either perception or speed or maybe crit damage or, you know, like I want to push his damage more. He doesn't need the damage. Like that's not the goal of him, but the more damage I get, the faster, you know, I clear waves. So the goal is to have enough speed and accuracy for Fire Knight hard mode. Now my Fire Knight hard mode team, I'll show you my Fire Knight hard mode team. So I'm only to stage 7. You can see it's a pretty long run there. I usually farm stage 4. And my team is, let's see, is this. And so as you can see, I'm running, you know, 3 freezing champions. But I mean, I don't know that I'm going to end up with Neldor. Like, I don't know. But I think I'd like to pull Yakarl or Blizzar, one of them, and like build them for other content. I don't know. I need more wave clear. I need a faster team here. This team's too slow. Seer, Archmage, Morag, Allure, Ruella. I considered Morag. I almost put Morag into that team. So Seer, obviously, with Archmage, that clears your waves, and then you got Allure, Ruella, and Morag doing the turn meter decrease, right? Because if you get Allure to join Morag, right, or you get Ruella to join Morag, then they reduce the turn meter. I wanted to use is it Fushan? No, Fushan is the what's his name? There's a really good epic in the Shadowkin faction. Just a second, let me figure it out. I can find him. I forget his name. Fenshi. So I wanted to use Fenshi, but my Fenshi is only 50. But I think actually Fenshi's great for this. So if you have a Fenshi build, I think he's awesome for Fire Knight. He's got a triple hitter on his A1 with a decreased speed. He's got a triple hitter on his A2 with turn meter steal. No, I'm sorry, turn meter decrease, not steal. He's got a double hit on his A3 with poisons, but you wouldn't use that for Fire Knight. You just turn off his A3, let him A1 and A2 over and over again. Again, you know, I think one of the things with Fire Knight, like with the epic thing, is finding enough damage for the waves. So Royal Guard, Seer, probably a Kemptum, maybe Skrank. Like, you know, finding AoE damage, the right AoE damage for Fire Knight waves is tough because like you could always use somebody like a Skull Crown, but she's only a single hitter, right? She doesn't have the multiple hits for Fire Knight. So, you know, this is my Fire Knight hard team. Not awesome, not fast enough, but not bad. But yeah, so if you were looking just like at epics and you're like, well, I need multi-hits, you know, and damage. So Kemptum has triple hitter, and can do some damage. Now you see mine is in regen and immortal. I don't know why that happened, by the way. I do not remember when I built this guy, but I think it was because he was on a particular. I think he was on a particular Hydra team where he just kept dying, and I didn't have a reviver, so I needed the AOE hex buff debuff, but I didn't. I needed him to stay alive, so I think that's what I did. It's a weird build, so it's not hitting hard in Fire Knight, right? He's not doing enough damage, so I could definitely change that build up for Fire Knight if I wanted to. Padma's not bad for damage. She's okay for damage, and she's got a double hitter on her A1, but it's like not really great. Um, Skullcrown great for wave damage, but single hit, single hit. So who's the wave clear? Meldor, Husk, Royal Guard, Akemtham, Dark Kale, maybe, Venom Mage, but it's like none of them are fast, right? Like none of them are really fast. I think Skrank could potentially, he's got the AoE HP burn. I don't know. I don't know if he'd be fast either. Does anybody have any idea? Like, what are some really good AoE damaging epics? Magnar? I guess Magnar. But he's only got single hits. I think Neldor is actually one of the best ones. This AoE 2 times hits pretty hard. Thanks, Mr. Rightside. See you later. Is Corrado an arena nuker? Sure, Corrado's an AoE. Like Corrado's fine. He's not a top tier, but he's solid. Corrado Fox Hunter. So he's got this A3, right? AoE block active debuffs. Pretty solid. Decent multipliers. You could build him as an arena nuker. I think I wouldn't. Like I would probably use him for utility more, but you could certainly do it if you need to. No, I don't have Corrado. Alika. Alika is a barbarian. She does have good multipliers. I've never built one. I don't know that I ever would. She needs like $20. Although the 100% chance of increasing the cooldown of all enemy skills by 2 turns is really nice. On a 3-turn cooldown, that is pretty nice. Genbo is not bad. Genbo is not bad. And he does have a double hitter on his A1. I was thinking about using him. I haven't tried him yet, so we could go try him. So who would we use him instead of? Royal Guard, you think? Or Neldor? Probably Neldor, right? So we'd get fewer hits. He's running at 231. So is Royal Guard. I don't know who's going to go first. We can see if this is any faster. I mean, Neldor is going to help break the shield better, but Genbo might get me through the waves slightly faster. Sindragord says, booking Aligo is one of my best investments in Rage so far. She is interesting, and I'm at the point with epic tomes where I could just build whatever epics I want. I have like 150 epic tomes or something. Yeah, potentially Skrills. I mean, the speed comes from clearing waves fast. And it does look like Genbo's clearing waves faster here than Neldor was. I have a second allure that I could build, and like two allures, you could just bring whatever you wanted with them, you know. But it's like I'm trying to find damage. I'm just trying to find speed, you know. So I don't have trouble breaking the speed, breaking the shield. I don't have problems keeping the boss turn meter controlled. Just allure and deacon by themselves would probably be enough with this, you know, with Ruella, let's say with the slow, that's more than enough. Um, so that was faster. That was a little bit faster, I think, or about the same actually. So a minute 54. A minute 54 versus. Let's try that again. Neldor. A minute 54 we had. So yeah, I don't know. Pan the Bowhorn I don't have built. Is he good? Mistrider Dathi I do have mostly built, I think. He might be 5-star on this account. I forget. Um, and his extra, he hits hard. He does hit hard. I don't know that he would help in waves, right? Because he's single target. And I'm talking about speed here, like in terms of, like, I want to drop the overall farming speed. So I think Mistrider Dathi does a really good job, but I don't know that he would make the whole team go faster. Um, yeah, Whisper could potentially take down the boss faster. I don't have any trouble getting through the waves decently fast with, you know, these teams. So now one thing I could do if I found a better defense, like not a better, but a harder hitting drop defense champion. My Stagnite's not 60. If I had Stagnite, I would swap in Stagnite for Deacon. And then I could potentially get Ruella out of there and put in like Mistrider Daffy instead. Yeah, I like Stagnite. Stagnite obviously hits harder than Deacon, but he also has the slow on the A1, which means you could replace the other slows. You don't need them anymore. Um, so we were at 157 before. So yeah, so Genbo looks faster than Neldor here. Neldor was slower, actually. When should I get into live arena? I got to bronze 4, and I win 1 battle out of 10 at this point. So live arena you should be doing always, and it doesn't really matter where you are. One of the things that happens during live arena is if you lose 3 fights in a row, your 4th fight will be against an AI, will be a bot. Now you won't know it, it won't say it, okay? But the bot does a couple of things. One is that the bot picks bad synergy teams, that's fine. But the bot also always bans your first pick. So whoever's in the first bot, your leader, is the one that gets banned. So if you have like Arbiter, don't pick Arbiter first when you know it, you're coming up against the bot. So if you've lost 3 in a row, you should always beat the bot, which means your worst win percentage should be 25%. So you should always beat the bot, and then if you lose 3 against humans, you beat the bot, and then you lose 3 against humans. But that will also drop you down a little bit, depending. So, realistically, if you're winning 30 or 40% of your fights, it may be frustrating. But that can be enough to just get you, you get some chests. Obviously, that allows you to get some primal quartz, which is nice. You'll get the milestone rewards as you climb up until silver, whatever, silver 4. And then you get the medals, the crests for the area bonuses. Now, here's a cool thing, which is that the number of medals doesn't change based on the color. It's kind of cool. It kind of sucks. Depends on how you look at it. But my point being, like, even if you're just in silver, or even if you're just in bronze, you can get to that level 3 and fill in all those level 3 fights. So, or level 3 bonuses. And that can be really worthwhile. You'll notice, like, one of the things that I've done is I've spread around most of my bonuses. In some places, you don't want to put certain bonuses. Like in Demon Lord battles, I have not put speed. I don't want to mess with my speed against the clan boss. Whereas in Hydra, I have pushed speed. Against Fire Knight, I have pushed speed because those are places where speed really matters. But there are fights where, for instance, like, okay, so I was trying to do Wixwell, right? So I pushed defense in the Demon Lord battles. But Sand Devil's Necropolis, if you have trouble living through, like, let's say your Godseeker Neri keeps dying, like, then you push for HP, right? Or because the defense is ignored, but you want to push HP. Or if you're in a fight where, like, you want to be able to resist certain things, you go ahead and drop resist. And it's like, it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot. One thing to note is that there are different costs. So you can see here at the top, there's cheap costs, right? So 25 for level 1. Then it gets to 50. And then if you keep going, you get all the way down to, from here on down, it's 100. So, you can also think about that. Like, it can be easier to, like, build out Spider's Den or build out, Fire Knight's Castle than it can be to improve Sand Devil's Necropolis. The bots never ban your Arbiter? Yeah, if you don't put them in the first spot. Yeah. Apple and Raisin Pancake with powdered sugar is a heck of a name. I feel if you are doing speed clan boss, you're doing all level 10s. 10 levels at once. I'm not sure what you mean. Oh yeah, like if you max them out, right? Like if you go from 0 to 10 and just go to 10, and then you don't have to worry about ever changing the speed again. Sure, I guess you could do that. The reason I don't do the speed in Demon Lord battles isn't because the stats are easy for me to get necessarily. I usually can get the speeds, but because I don't want to slow my champions down. If I want to run a champion, I'm a free-to-play player. If I want to run a champion in Clan Boss, I also want to run that champion in other places. So I'll show you my Clan Boss speed tune that I'm running right now. So this is the one I'm running. This one, right? So as you can see, like, my Lady Mikage is at 307. If I put 20 speed into Clan Boss, I would have to run her at 287 for the same composition. I don't want to run her slower because I also run her in Live Arena. I also run her in Doom Tower, where more speed is better. Same with Lydia. Lydia here is running at 255. I think I actually slowed her down to get her there, but it's like I want to run her at a minimum of 255 or faster. So it's like I don't actually want to take speed off of these champions in order to get them into a speed tune. So that's why I don't add speed to Clan Boss. Now, if I was on a new account and I was struggling to get my first Ultra Nightmare, like 2-key or something, and I needed speed and that was the best way to get it, then I would probably do it. But at this point on this account, that'll be the last thing I ever fill in. Like all the area bonuses will be done, and Demon Lord will still be at 0. Arbiter up to 335. There you go, Ian. That's really nice, man. See, so now this is what we were talking about before with the speed tune. Right, you come out here, grab your calculator, and you go 335, and you divide it by 1.3. So your second fastest champion needs to be 258 or better. And you're already there. Like both your Deacon and your Astrid are faster than that, right? Wow. That's a third emergency warning thing. So you're in good shape, Ian. All right, so that is it for me, folks. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'm sorry I only did one takeover. I will be back next Tuesday. I'll still be on holiday. We're on holiday. We just got here last night, so this is my first day of my vacation, and we are here for 9 days, I think. I will be putting out some videos this week, so keep an eye out for that. If you have any suggestions on videos, I highly recommend you make suggestions in our suggestion area in the Discord. You're all members of the Discord, so go ahead and make some video suggestions there because I am looking for ideas for new videos. And again, we have that 1-year anniversary coming up for Call Red Plays, so we're going to be doing something with that. We still, by the way, I don't know if everybody's forgotten about Raid Madness. We never did the final episode of that because the baby came, but we're going to get that on board and finish that off because that's just embarrassing to me that we haven't done that yet, but we'll get that done. But yeah, there you go, Ian. 258, 264, you're perfect. That's perfect. Now warnings about the heat. Apparently, the 911 system is down in Massachusetts, and that's where we are right now. So anyway, all right, thanks, everybody. I hope you had an enjoyable stream. We'll do more takeovers next week. Y'all have a good week. I'll see you soon.